Hi guys, welcome to the stream. This is episode 1 of Grey Bane, or as it's laid out, Bane Grey, but something like that. Obviously, I'm Bane.
And I'm Grey.
Right, so basically what we're looking to kick off on today, we're looking mainly at discussing the shit show that was Echo. I think we've got slightly differing views on how bad it actually ended up being in the grand scheme of things, but we'll see how it goes. So, I guess you can start off. What were your initial thoughts, having watched all lovely 5 episodes of it?
Well, my initial thoughts were confusion because I deeply did not know what was going on in the first episode.
Yeah.
I later found out after watching all 5 episodes that this was actually a sequel or a continuation of the Hawkeye series, because apparently Echo is introduced in the 2021 Hawkeye series, which I have never seen. So I kind of went into this with the wrong idea. I thought this was going to be a new story with a new character that we hadn't been introduced to before, and this was going to be the first introduction. So I was deeply confused when we kept having all of these flashback moments or moments that were part of other TV shows that I hadn't seen before, because it all kept jumping around, and I was very like, am I supposed to know something? Like, and as far as I remember, there were no dates. Like, there wasn't a year mentioned. The only time we got like a year kind of was when the kid grew up, and it was like 20 years later. And I was like, so is this set? When is this set in the Marvel timeline? Since apparently it's supposed to be within the universe. So yes, that was my first reaction: confusion, followed quickly by boredom. I was deeply bored throughout this.
I just need to say, I didn't make it to confusion. The gap was just boredom. It was just boredom.
No, because I was trying to figure out like what, when Hawkeye appeared, I was like, okay, so clearly he's in his non-Avengers outfit, but I was like, I can't place it. I don't know. So like I say, first episode, deeply confused. Second, third, fourth, fifth episode,
He was
bored.
dressed like he was in Endgame.
Bored. Oh no, end of the fifth episode, more confusion.
Yeah.
More confusion. So, confusion, boredom, confusion.
But don't you think that this is like part of the issue, particularly with Marvel as a whole? Because all of these series are basically part of this universe. But in order to make people watch or try to make people to watch the next series, they seem to ground basically it in the previous series. Now, they've realized that this is actually a very big mistake. You know that from basically the Marvels, where to get an understanding of the Marvels, you have to realistically watch, I think it's a minimum of 2 of the Disney Plus series as being Miss Marvel and, oh God, I can't remember. Scarlet Witch.
Oh, WandaVision.
WandaVision, that's it. So you have to watch those, because that basically is what introduces the other 2 characters from the Marvels. And then you need to watch at least Captain Marvel, as well as potentially Avengers Endgame. And yeah. So there's quite a lot of backstory that realistically you have to watch in order to go see that film. So what they did was they did a recap at the beginning, which is exactly what they've done in the first episode of Echo. But the problem with it is the recap usually is shit. Like, it's fine to do a recap, but you need to at least cover the main points. If you haven't watched Hawkeye, which you haven't, you won't know why realistically she kills or tries to kill Kingpin. There's no explanation in the beginning of Echo, her motivation of why she shot Kingpin. other than what Hawkeye tells her. But then there is no explanation of why she would just believe Hawkeye saying, I wasn't the one that killed your father, for the crack, when she saw someone who looked like Hawkeye.
I agree, and that's why I was confused, because it was like one scene, she's best friends with Kingpin, they're hanging out, working together, eating meals, all that lovely stuff. And then it's literally a 180 spin of, oh, now I have to kill this person. But like as the audience, you can kind of figure out why, because clearly it was Kingpin that caused the death of her father. But to her as the character, it's like, you haven't been told any of this. No proof, no anything. You're going to believe a random hero on the street versus the guy that essentially helped raise you, look after you, especially when you get more of the backstory of Kingpin and Echo, that they actually did a lot together. It wasn't just like they hung out a little, like he was genuinely helped raise her essentially.
When he beats the shit out of the ice cream man, and then she comes up and hoofs him twice when she's like 7, you sat there going, you're clearly mental. Like, this paints her as like almost like the hero of this story, but she is not a hero character. She's just a slightly less worse villain.
And see, this again, this contributed to confusion. A lot of confusion is going to be said throughout this stream, because I was like, am I supposed to like this character? For the first few episodes, I genuinely couldn't tell. I was like, am I supposed to be on her side? Because she clearly has a grudge against Kingpin, which, okay, he contributed to the death of her father. However, she doesn't seem to have shown any remorse for the people that she's killed. Plus, she actually blew up an entire warehouse, what I assume was probably full of people, to get revenge against Kingpin's organization. And don't get me wrong, the majority of those people were probably criminals. But you're still killing them.
And to go further than that, it seems genuinely like she has zero given about any of her family. Like, she puts them into danger. She basically uses Biscuits. She manipulates him to do what she wants to do. And she puts her family members in danger throughout it and seems to have zero concern about what she's doing.
Until the final 10 minutes of the final episode. That's when she suddenly cares.
Yeah, when they've apparently got to paint her as being the hero.